Chris. This is my part one of my creative project, and I'm going to be talking about Garden State today. Even though evidently you hate it, it's my favorite movie. And for everyone who doesn't know what Garden State is about, it has Zach Braff and Natalie Portman in it, and I'm going to read the back of the DVD so just kind of have an idea what it's about. 20-something emotionally detached Andrew Largeman, Zach Braff, returns home to New Jersey after 9 long years. Now, as he tries to reconnect with his past, a series of chance encounters with Sam, Natalie Portman, a free-spirited girl who's everything he isn't, sets the stage for a fateful, mind-blowing take on what his future might hold. This movie isn't just my favorite movie because Zach Braff and Natalie Portman are amazing. It has a lot of social implications that they just have a lot to do with life in general, whether it be something that's really deep and you don't realize that you feel it until someone brings it up, or it has a lot of just the little things in your life that maybe you don't realize that it's happening. It just changes my life every time I watch it. Yeah, my life changes every time I watch this movie, but I learn something new every single time I watch it. And I'm literally not joking. I mean, I may have, I don't know, I guess, heard, the quote in the movie or something and not thought about it, but every time I watch it, there's a certain quote or just something that someone does or says that makes me think more about it and say, wow, how about that? And yeah, it just really gets you thinking. And I have a bunch of quotes here from the movie that I'm going to read and then explain or say what they mean to me, I guess. So there's a scene where Sam and Andrew are swimming and they're just kind of talking about life, I guess. And Andrew says, "You know that point in your life when you realize the house you grew up in isn't really your home anymore? All of a sudden, even though you have some place where you put your shit, that idea of home is gone." Sam says, "I still feel at home in my place." And Andrew says, "You'll see one day when you move out and it just sort of happens one day and it's gone. You feel like you can never get it back. It's like you feel homesick for a place that doesn't even exist. Maybe it's like this rite of passage, you know? You won't ever have this feeling again until you create a new idea of home for yourself, for your kids, for the family you start. It's like a cycle or something. I don't know. But I miss the idea of it, Maybe that's all family really is. A group of people that miss the same imaginary place." And, when I watched the movie for the first time, I didn't really think about that one all that much, and then I realized that was because when I first watched the movie, I was still in high school, and I was still, living at home, primarily. And after I watched it, after I moved out and came to college here, I realized that that's so true, because I guess maybe the idea of family's changed, because, when I go home, it's still home, but it's not, I don't know, it's not just like how it used to be, when my brother and my sister were there, and it was just, we were all together. And now that, my brother moved out first, and then my sister, and then, I came to college, my home is still what I call home. That's where I go after breaks, and that's where I plan on going after college. Hopefully not for long, but I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it's just not how it used to be. And I guess maybe I don't deal with change very well, because it is something that I miss, especially around the holidays. And that's another thing that maybe changed. Christmas, it was so exciting when I was a little kid, And, you know, like my brother, my sister, and I, we would build these forts that took up our entire basement, which is pretty large. And we would sleep in these forts, and for a week and a half before Christmas Eve. And we would just sit down there and like play games and watch my brother play video games because my sister and I sucked at them. So we would watch my brother, and that was really fun. And then when like Christmas Eve would come around, it would be us sleeping all day, and then because we slept all day, of course we couldn't sleep at night, so we would play Pokemon cards and go in and wake my parents up at 2 in the morning and ask if it was okay if we could go open presents. But then just, and I don't know when it happened, but it just changed. Like, the feeling of Christmas, it's not as happy as it used to be, maybe. And I wonder if everyone else in the world kind of feels like that. I'm like, am I the only one who went through that? I don't know, because like I talked to my brother and my sister about it too, and it changed, and I don't know, it's weird and kind of sad if you think about it. But I also have some more quotes here. The reason that Andrew went home is because his mom died. And he's talking about when he was at her funeral. And he said, that actually made me sadder than anything. The fact that I felt so numb. And the reason that he kind of felt like that is because he was on a lot of, I guess they were like anger management medications, and the fact that he couldn't cry at his mom's funeral because he felt so numb of all these medications that his dad had put him on. And I wonder if things like that happen, do things like that really happen to people? Like, are antidepressants or just these anti-anger medications, are they really a good idea for the world? I mean, granted, some people probably need them because they have anger problems, but is it really worth it to not feel anything at all? I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't want to be just walking around like a zombie. I wouldn't want to just feel absolutely nothing in my life. Just go around life not feeling anything whatsoever. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know a lot because that's kind of my thought process. Because I don't know a lot about the world and what a lot of other people go through. I know what I feel, and I don't know, I feel like it's sad if a parent will be okay with having their child feel nothing in their life. Okay. And there's another one that I really like. Okay. Sam and Andrew are just hanging out in her room, and she wants him to just like make a noise, do something to be completely unique. And this is brought up a lot in this movie, to be completely unique. And this is what she says. This is your one opportunity to do something that no one has ever done before, and that no one will copy throughout human existence. And if nothing else, you will be remembered as the one guy who ever did this one thing. I really like that quote because a lot of what my life is about is being unique and being myself. Because if you try and copy someone else and you try and just be this other person that you're not, if you're just completely fake, then it shows so easily, and people can tell. And I mean, it's not necessarily just because I don't want people to see that I'm being fake. It's just because I don't want to be anybody else.